Hey, y'all. So we are going to start a new unit on exponents. An exponent is this little number that's over here to the top. So the 2, we call that the base. And the 4 is what we call the exponent. The 4 tells us how many factors of 2 that we have. So for example, this means that I would have 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 4 times. So I have 4 factors of 2. So that's what it would look like if I were to expand it out. And if I wanted to calculate the value, then you would calculate the value of that. We are going to consider 2 rules that we want to talk about today. So let's say I'm going to take this 2 to the 4. I have 2 raised to the 4. So that means, as I said, that I have 4 factors of 2. So I have 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. And if I wanted to calculate the value of that, I would have 2 times 2, which is 4, times another 2 is 8, times another 2 is 16. All right, and then let's say that I have 2 to the 3rd power. Well, that means I have 3 factors of 2. So 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 times 2 is 4, times another 2 is 8. I want us to consider what is going on from 16 to 8. So if I think about 2's, you notice that I reduce it to over here. So I am dividing by a 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Let's keep on with this. Let's say that I have 2 raised to the 2nd power. So that means I have 2 factors of 2, which gives me 4. Let's come over here. Is that true? Does 8 divided by 2 give me 4? It sure does. All right, so what if I had 2 raised to the 1st power? Well, that means I only have 1 factor of 2, and all I have is 2. Yeah, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Do you see how this pattern over here is always dividing by 2? Well, what if 4, 3, 2, 1? What if I have 2 raised to the 0? Now, that's very weird. I don't know what to put here. Well, let's come over here and continue my pattern. Well, according to my pattern, I am dividing by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. Therefore, 2 raised to the 0 power is 1. Well, get that. How would I do 2 raised to the negative 1 power? Well, my rule says that I'm dividing by 2. And 1 divided by 2 is a half. So if I have a negative power, let's notice where that 2 goes. That 2 goes in the denominator, and I only have one of those 2, so I'm going to give it an exponent of 1. What if I do 2 to the negative 2nd power? Well, let's think about that. I'm going to come over here. I have a half divided by 2. Well, it's technically a half times the reciprocal of that is a half. So I would have 1 over, how many 2's do I have? Yeah, I have 2 2's. Oh, which is equal to 2 squared is a fourth. So every time you have a negative exponent, every time you have a negative exponent, it turns it into a fraction. And that exponent is now going to turn into a positive exponent. And anytime you have a number raised to the power of 0, you're always going to get a value of 1. It does not matter what it is. So our rules here state the following. That any exponent raised to the power of 0 is always going to give you a value of 1. Anything. And anytime you have a negative exponent,